Hello. So I see I've got some new subscribers, and I just think I'm listening to people coming. So I figured I would talk about, since I think most of them come over from budgeting side of YouTube, I'll talk about my current financial situation. Oh, I hear what it is. It's my voice is echoing. I'm in kind of like a little door alcove, and then right next to me there's another one just down the hallway on the other side, so it's like echoing strange. I do not have any credit card debt. I did have credit card debt. I settled on it. I had to pay $5,000 and settled just over $5,000 more. That was, I don't know, maybe around March, April, May, maybe even June, July of 2016. I don't keep track of time very well. Let's see how I got into a financial pickle. I got out of the military in 2009. I didn't have any clue what I was gonna do. Didn't even know what I was interested in. Like, I had just done military, and you don't have a whole lot of time to have a lot of hobbies or interests. You kind of just, I was in survival mode when I was in the military. So I got out, and I took about maybe 8 months of relaxing, just kind of letting myself think and sort out who I want to be. I had about $20,000 in the bank. I had, I think, about $50,000 in my retirement fund. No debt, really. And then, since I got separated 1 year into my reenlistment, I had to pay back my reenlistment bonus. There went the $20,000. They took my tax returns. And I think I owed more, and I put that on my credit card. So I paid them off with my credit card just to be done with the Federal Department of Defense, just to be done with it. No idea how I was going to pay that off. What I ended up doing sometime down the road was cashing in a chunk of my retirement fund, about, say, like $20,000 of my retirement fund, to pay off that credit card and some other things. I think I needed maintenance to my truck and some stuff like that. So, I mean, it went to functional things. I didn't just party it off, but and about that time I was in school. I wanted to be able to focus on school, so I was using my Montgomery GI Bill post 9/11. No, I wasn't using my post 9/11 one yet. I still haven't used my post 9/11. I think I've got another 6 months of that. I was using the other one, but anyway, I didn't want to have a job. I didn't get enough disbursement from my GI Bill to be able to really live on, pay the rent. The rent was like $1,000, and my power bill, and food and fuel and books and all that stuff. So knowing my brain, if I got a job, I would stop focusing on school. It also potentially could conflict with my schedule and I don't know, my brain just, I couldn't handle that at the time, so I got student loans too. And ended up taking out, I went to community college for, I think like 3.5 years, and ended up taking out, I don't even know, 12, maybe $15,000 over the course of 3 years. You know, the numbers sound really ridiculous now that I think about it, but when I was in the moment, it didn't seem like a big deal. Like, it didn't seem so dumb. So that was, I got out, I got kicked out. My brain shifted and I was having a hard time concentrating. Depression, the post-separation, there's a lot of stuff that goes through people's brains. It's kind of like going through a divorce of sorts. There's definitely a grieving process involved. Like friends, lifestyle, like it's full on, just like getting a divorce and being forced to move to a new town where you like know people, but they're not necessarily people that you want to hang out with. Like, it's the people who never left town and you're like, I've traveled the world, we have nothing in common besides drinking. And then I learned that that was not what I wanted to do either. My Fitbit's going off. Okay. So yeah, and that's how I got into where I'm at now. I have student loan debt. For a little bit, like that $1,000 a month rent, I originally had a roommate and she bailed early. I couldn't find a replacement roommate. Like, and then that was the last straw. That was how I got through. Like, I just ate through all my savings. I didn't have any money to put down a first and last security deposit. I had a dog and 2 cats at the time, so I needed to be able to put down pet deposit. It was impossible. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she goes, well, why don't you just buy a house? I was like, I don't have any money to buy a house. Like, thinking that, you know, you need to have money at least to be able to get the loan to be able to get a house. And I really didn't want to take out a loan because I knew I wasn't making enough money that I would be able to pay a loan. So my mom came in and loaned me money to get into a manufactured home that she helped me pick out, so she felt okay with it. We got the house for $32,000 and put another $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work into it. So I ended up owing my mom, like, I don't know, at the end of it, I just chalked it up to $38,000 is what I owed my mom. I lived there for a while and I couldn't like, I was just so fed up with the trailer park management and neighbors and the style that is there. I don't know, I kind of miss having my own place now, but I'm kind of glad to be done with the 3 o'clock drunken drama. And you're so close that if you make friends with anybody and they see everything that comes and goes from your house, and it was too much drama. I just needed to be done with it. So I sold that house. We made, I think we got $45 for it. So after we paid our broker and all of the fees and everything, we ended up walking away with just under $42,000. So 40 of it went to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I put money into that too. Like, I understand that the whole time I didn't pay her, I wasn't able to pay her, like, I wasn't budgeting. maybe I could have, now that I know what budgeting's all about, I could have been paying payments to her, but I don't know. But I was like, Mom, I put money into that too. Like, the garden is part of what sold it, and I put the ceiling fan in, and that was another thing that sold it. Like, I did my own updates to the place, and that helped to sell the place. And she goes, oh, well, you can have anything that's over $40,000. I was like, great, okay. So like, yay, what a grand investment for me. My mom made like an extra, I don't know, but she loaned me the money, so I guess that was her interest, so that's cool, whatever. I don't feel bad about it at all. So I got out of there, and that was about the time that my finances, they had already fallen apart, because it was a time when I didn't have, my student loans weren't coming in. I was having a hard time getting a job. I was working for a temp agency. I was pulling maybe $800 a month, and it cost me $700 a month to survive. Like, that was the bare bones. I didn't even have enough money to buy a dumb phone to get off my smartphone plan. Like, that was where I was at. I got a tax return. I bought a dumb phone so that I could reduce my cell phone bill, so that I could have an extra $25 to buy food. In that time, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, something would come up, like I needed a car, something for my car, and I didn't have the money for it, so I wouldn't pay my cell phone. And then I was forever paying late fees, so that, like, everything costs more when you don't pay it on time. And there were a couple times that I didn't get my rent paid on time. That was $50 every single time that I didn't pay my rent on time. I think I did that in the 3 years that I lived there. I paid that, I don't know, at least a dozen times. So that's a lot of money. Yeah, so I sold that and moved out to my family farm. So I pay $400 a month, and that is my rent and my utilities. All my bills are now is I've got my cell phone, which is under $1,000, or under $1,000 a month, about $100 a month. I have my student loan minimum payment is on an income base, and so that is like $58 a month. What else do I have that comes out? Oh, I've got Netflix, and I've got Audible. I listen to books on tape at work, and Netflix is no commercials, turn it on, and clean your house to documentaries. Like, it's also a tool for me. And so, I mean, this is probably the least amount that I've ever needed to live on. Budgeting for my food, $200. Car fuel, I budget $100. I have a medical dental sinking fund that I'm putting $90 a month into right now. That's to save up to get my teeth fixed, and also to pay my co-pays for when I go to the doctor, which is about $20 a visit. I have my car insurance on a sinking fund. That's $110 every month. Basically, at the end of cash envelopes and my auto transfers, which are all my sinking funds, and my automatic payments, which is the cell phone, my student loans, Audible and Netflix. I have to recalculate it. I'm getting a raise this month because I've been at this job for over a year, which means that every July, because it's a fiscal year based step raise, I get a whole 46 cents an hour more. It's like 50 bucks a month, but hey, that can pay off debt faster. So, I don't know what that'll do to my taxes, but whatever. I think after you subtract all of the things that I pay into every month, I end up with about 500 bucks a month to go towards whatever my goal is. Right now I'm back at baby step 1. I have yet to really start baby step 2. Every time that like baby step 1 is funded and then I have my 1 month to pay like into the sinking fund for the thing that I needed, like I needed shorts and some new shoes for work. I bought them, and then my tax return, my tax bill came back for the feds. So boom, there goes baby step 1. Get it in there and then it's gone before it's even had a chance to accrue any interest. Awesome. So not only that, but I get a $4 dink. That's a good incentive. I get a $4 dink every time that I don't have at least $1,000 in that savings account. So that's a good enough reason not to pull money out. So right now, baby step 1 is sitting at $310. That's where I'm at right now. My student loans there's 6 loans, and they all add up to about $36,000. The smallest one is about $3,400, $3,700, somewhere in there, and the largest one is pushing $9,000. So, and then I also owe my mom $11,000 because I borrowed money from her to pay off that credit card. So that was $5,000, and then I don't remember what I borrowed the rest of the money for. They probably looked through my bank account, but it's only been in like the last year, so I suppose I could go through my bank account and figure out where all that money went. But I think it was mostly to pay off things like that. Just random little, well, $5,000 isn't random and little, but like $100 here, $200 there. I don't think that I really owe her $11,000, but I just kind of rounded up just because she's loaned me the money. She's not charging me interest, and she isn't making me give a minimum payment every month. So I haven't borrowed from her in my gosh, probably at least since September. So that's good, right? I'm moving forward. Yeah, crazy. So anyway, long video, probably pretty monotone, but I have to go get laundry out of the laundry dryer, but I can't walk you guys through there because it's a locker room. So that is what I've got going on. Welcome to my channel. Feel free to hang out for a while or whatever. I don't post on a regular schedule. I've been feeling pretty uninspired lately, so I'll probably be posting more videos just to re-inspire myself on all of the debt stuff. I really do. I just need to sit down and go through my books and get myself back interested in it. Locker rooms. So anyway, I gotta go, and I'm sure this is a long enough video as it is. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. And I will see you guys, I don't know, next video. Who knows, maybe tonight I'll be inspired to do some finance stuff.